it seems like you're going to be having some really exciting conversations in the halls of Congress with your new Marxist friends from New York.
Yep.
That, among other things, chant death to America, say they want the downfall of Western civilization, and celebrate the September 11th attacks. It's going to be a very interesting time in the cafeteria.
And wipe their hands on the American flag. I mean,
Correct.
You know, that doesn't play very well in Tennessee. I can tell
What would
you.
happen if they wiped their hands on the American flag outside of your office, Congressman?
I say, dadgummit, somebody's going to take an ass whipping. They would. And I would not put up with it. That's not, I think about my daddy. I think about my 48 star flag in my office that was on my uncle's casket, died fighting the Nazis. And my dad fought and killed people to defend this country. And in the Marine Corps, and my mama flew a dadgum airplane during the Second World War. So I can't even fathom that line of thinking. I can remember when I was a little boy, and my mom and daddy were, of course, still living, and we were at a UT football game, and some kid was talking in front of my dad. Dad was dean of student conduct. I'm pretty sure my dad never read the Bill of Rights, because he told that kid to take that hat off his head or he's going to take it off for him. And he gave dad some lip, and he said, "What's your name?" And dad wrote it down. The kid was in my dad's office Monday morning, and I can remember my mama tearing up when they unfurled that flag every time. And I knew she's thinking about her brother Roy. That's what it means to me, brother. That's what it means to me. I can't, and I'm worried, if I can pontificate a little bit.
Please.
I remembered I was in a meeting one time with a bunch of Republicans, and they were saying, and we were freshmen. They said, "I know you guys think y'all are my favorite freshmen, each of them, but my favorite freshman is Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez." And they said, because she is selling, she's out here doing this stuff. Well, the problem is, Benny, is that what they're selling, young people are buying on some of our college campuses, being taught that. And I said to myself, that is not what I would want public right there, because they get it and we don't, and we are terrible at messaging. If it wasn't for people like yourself, I dare say it would be some very dark days in our republic right now, because we are terrible at getting the word out, and we're too protectionism on our own seats, and we're afraid to get out on the edge a little bit, which we need to do. And I think New York is an indicator. It's a wake-up call. We have allowed this, and dadgummit, we've created it more or less, because we did not. We always, and I'm sorry, I'm really ticked off this morning. We always want to compromise. We got bills up and we compromise with the Democrats. Dadgummit, we're in the majority. President Trump won overwhelmingly across this great country because he spoke the truth. Lock the dadgum borders down, lock up our criminals, make our enemies fear us, and our friends respect us again. Simple things that America grasps, but yet all we're doing, we win with our 2 or 3 percentage points, and we come back here again and celebrate. Let's take that majority out for a ride and see what it can do. Let's start passing real bills that America wants. I'm chairman of the dadgum Doge committee, and it's hard to even get Republicans to come to the meeting. I mean, we hardly even have a quorum. And we're going to have a meeting this Thursday, on food stamps and all the fraud that's gone on in there. This is what America voted for. It may be a little uncomfortable for you, but the message is, let's cut the fraud out so we can take care of the people. That's the message. Should be, but it's not going to be. It's going to be, oh, look at all the harm we're causing and all this wringing of hands. And you and I know dadgum well the fraud that's going on in that program. And President Trump's right, and Elon Musk was right. It's over $1 trillion that they're stealing from us. And, stealing from your beautiful children, stealing from my daughter, and if I ever have grandkids, stealing from them, because we're $40 trillion in debt. And we just can't keep going down this path. And we keep playing ball with them. And they never play ball with us. When they're in the majority, they don't care. They don't give a rip. All they want to do is pass their hardline legislation. Dadgummit, that's what they do. We need to take a page from their playbook.
That would require a different Republican Party that isn't scared of its own shadow that could actually pass the SAVE Act. That would require Republicans that are willing to fight and go to war legislatively.
The SAVE Act. I mean, why aren't we out every day saying, look, you got to show your dadgum birth certificate to play Little League baseball in America. I made the mistake of saying that I was speaking, I think, to a group of Mormons, and I said something about, hey, go down to the Weigels. That's our little local 5 and dime. Bill Weigel, great American, started that and still has it. And, I said, you're going to go down there and buy a scratch off, a 6-pack of beer and a pack of smokes. Then I realized I was speaking to a group of Mormons, and I said, and all those things are bad. And they all laughed. They're my buddies. They vote right. But look, we've got to start taking this thing serious, Benny. We've got to light up our senators on the phones, on the emails. Speak with authority. We are going to lose our country, and they'll do it at the ballot box.
It's amazing that you can have the results like you had last night. You have people that chant death to America. You have individuals that say that America owes Islamists reparations for 9/11. We have the clip. I mean, here's my screen, Klein, please. We have the clip of this woman. Her name's Aber Quas, and she says that America that we owe Islam reparations for what happened on September 11th.
For like a terror attack that like a couple of people did, and then there is no apologies or reparations for genocides and for slavery, etc., is something that I kind of find like reprehensible.
It's like, I mean, is this not a wake-up call for Republicans to understand what time is it right now? The hour is late, Congressman.
The hour is very late, and we are in a horrible situation. And if we don't address this thing, and the Democrats, everybody's saying, "Oh, the Democrats, they're gonna have a mutiny on their hands and all this stuff." I don't think they will. I think they're going to embrace it and move farther to the left and try to scam us that way. I really do. I just don't. I don't see us. I just look. You got Democrats. You had one Democrat down in Texas saying that Jews ought to be rounded up. I believe it was. I remember Jared Moskowitz.
Put into camps. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, put into camps. Jared Moskowitz said, "My kids aren't going to camps." He's a Democrat and he's Jewish. He's from Florida,
Jewish people voted 70-20 for Kamala Harris, so they're voting for this. It's the chicken.
They just get right in line.
Voting for the fox in the hen house. Yeah.
And now they're nipping at Trump on Iran. Where were they when we started bombing? They should have been saying, "Hell yes, this is what we need to be doing." And the thing about it is, what's the price you're going to put on peace? Everybody says it wants to back off from Iran, but I'm stepping into it. Look, Trump briefed us on that thing. It was American excellence that we stopped this nuclear situation. They had the capabilities, they had the facility, they had it in the ground. And Trump literally, with that one bomb, they buried it under a mountain. And that's how that's where it's at right there. If we see movement on that mountain, I think the bombing starts. But all this money they're talking about, I rarely ever see a Democrat complain about all the fraud that's going on that could fund everything we've got going on right now.